lighting here. Thanks. Thanks. Thank you.
Experience for the Drink of the Mayo Festival starting at noon. For more information, visit VegasExperience.com.
Gambler's bonus hits again.
He'll be back when he realizes he doesn't have his, yeah.
Four sixes, clearing his gambler's bonus board and bingo card.
All right, so we'll let you go for a couple minutes. I'll go get Lawless.
Chris and big, and so can you. With Gambler's bonus, it's why you play the game.
Your afternoon Raiders fans, viewer or cue on Unnecessary Roughness from 2 to 5 on Raider Nation Radio 920 AM KRLB Las Vegas.
It's good, everyone. You got me. Just tell me thumbs up or yes, you can hear me. Robert, we're good to go.
It's time for JT the Brick.
The key to good sports radio, not great, but good sports radio, is you don't have to force it. I don't want to come in here and force Raider content on days where there's no Raider content. What are we going to do?
We're going to talk sports, all different types of sports, because we do a sports talk show. I mean, I'm dealing with insanity here. This guy's legit, but wow, calm down. We're going to start talking sports.
Did you hear what I said? I'm good.
JT the Brick.
We're providing content here every day with opinions, and I'm pretty strong with my opinions. I think you'd agree, and I stand by it. Mixing in the NBA, mixing in basketball and the Golden Knights. This has been the longest running show in the history of the Raiders. Nothing's close. You better be vocal today, everybody. I'm demanding greatness on the phones. Get your ass in gear today. I got my A game. There's never an off season in the Raider Nation. Got it? That's the show.
And now,
Fandemonium.
here's JT the Brick.
Out of the gate, hour number 2 of the show, streaming live on YouTube in our YouTube studio, JT the Brick YT for YouTube. Subscribe and share. Alert the Raider Nation, man. One of the only shows that streams live inside the Raider Nation here, so you should be here with me. We'll talk to you. We got a chat going now. Make some new Raider friends on the YouTube page. It's hour number 2 of the show. Quick housekeeping moment. We're live from Grimaldi's on Friday. So Grimaldi's Boca Park. Real easy to find, 750 South Rampart. Come on by for the best pizza I've ever had. That's my dad. My dad grew up in Bayside, New York. He worked in Manhattan. He went to Grimaldi's in Brooklyn. He couldn't believe there was a Grimaldi's in Vegas, and now there's an army of Grimaldi's here. And I take my dad, 85. Sorry, my dad wins. I know there's a lot of great pizza in town, but I go to Grimaldi's because it's the best pizza I've ever had every time. I get the Brooklyn Bridge. Come on out. They even have slices now. Oh, my dream. You can get a slice if you come to the remote. We'll have the Grimaldi's $50 gift cards, and that should be a lot of fun. So come on out and see me. Look, I always said to Bobby, I don't want to do a lot of remotes. Remotes for me got to be big. But now I'm saying, no, we got a nice little boutique 2-hour show here with the Raiders, and got all these partners. I can't keep up with how many partners I have. I'm so lucky. And Grimaldi's is one of my longest standing partners. They say, hey, man, you're giving La Costa Cigars a remote, and you're doing one for PTs, and you're doing them for Remy Martin. How about us? And I said, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I love sitting out at the little patio on Boca Park there, man. It's a lot of fun. So if you can come out, we've got a lot of my friends come out too, and fans of the Raider Nation. Come on out for some pizza, open for dine-in, carry-out, and delivery. Thank you to Grimaldi's for being a tremendous partner and generously providing us with $50 gift cards to give away to our loyal fans. What an hour we just did, and it just came together. Raiders text me yesterday, Tom Telesco, can you do him at noon? We knock out Tom Telesco. He was very good. Guarded guy, very good. Just what you're going to get with Tom Telesco. Vinny Bonsignor in studio. And then TV entrepreneur John Brankus, the sports science guy, 1,800 shows he produced inside ESPN. And now he's got his own company, Brinks TV, which is pretty cool. So he's a unique guy. Happy to talk to him. Gary Lawless momentarily. For Raider fans, stay with me. I'm going to go on a rant coming up here in about 15 minutes after Gary. I am a Golden Knights fan. I am a fan of sports. Okay, I'm a diehard Knicks fan. If you look at my priority in my life, what's my most important thing? My family. Nothing's more important than my wife, 2 sons, and my family, who I always talk about on this show. Secondly, the most important thing to me are my teams, the teams that I were born with, the Yankees, the Knicks. Okay, the Raiders brought me into their family. Yes, Raider Nation, I'm a Raider fan. I've proven that going on almost 30 years. Didn't grow up with the Raiders, grew up with the Snake. I got the photos, 9 years old with the Snake jersey on, but you know my backstory by now. And then the third most important thing in my life is my jobs. And I've had a lot of jobs. I have a lot of jobs now. I look at this stage of my life. My jobs are important, but they're not as important as my mom and dad, my wife, and my 2 sons. But the Knicks are. The Knicks are up there, and the Knicks choked last night, Bobby. They just choked. They had a 6-point lead with 28 seconds to go. They had a 6-point lead. They fouled Maxey, who got a 4-point play. Oh, my God. All you got to do is just put your hands up, not touch anyone. You win the game. They foul Maxey. He gets a 4-point play. And then they miss a free throw, and then Maxey hits one from almost half court. We go to overtime. Knicks get blown out. That hurt. It was going to be the first time in 25 years they closed the series out at home. Think of that. How old are your kids? How old are you? 25 years. And they weren't able to do that. So I lost my mind last night. And my kids, my son's back from college. Congratulations to my youngest son. He just finished his junior year at ASU yesterday. So he just finished his junior year. And my wife and him came home last night, and I was a mess. The Knicks lost, and I told my oldest son, who's 22, don't mess with me, man. He's a Laker fan. I said, don't do it. He likes to crack jokes at me. I said, don't. You weren't born when I was a Knicks fan, okay? Don't mess with my Knicks. And the Knicks lost. So last night was a tough night. There's 3 things I can't watch on television. 3. Can't watch. Number 1, I'll go from 1. Number 1 is, without a doubt, the 2004 Red Sox beating the Yankees. Yankees were up 3-0. The Red Sox, the curse of the Bambino, they come and win the World Series and win 4 in a row against the Yankees. They have documentaries, 30 for 30s. When it comes on the TV, I turn it off. Number 2, all time, is the Tuck rule. That I would have got a Super Bowl ring. Done. I had a Super Bowl ring taken from me from the Tuck rule. Can't watch it. If it's on TV, I turn it off. And then number 3, Reggie Miller and the Knicks choke. Remember, Reggie Miller had the 8 points in the same amount of time, and that fell apart. So when that's on television, I can't watch it. I turn it off. And last night was pretty close, kind of close to my Mount Rushmore. When the Knicks blew that game, I just lost my mind. Here's Maxey, the game-tying 3 in the 4th quarter.
Here's Hart's free throw. Up and remain good. Sixers inbound down 3, 97-94. Season on the line. Maxey's got the ball. Looking to go to overtime. Maxey for a 3 straight away. It's good. 8 seconds to go. He made it. Sixers tied at 97.
Yeah, he makes a 30-foot shot. I mean, what are the odds of that? And they fouled him before, and he had a 4-point play. So they end up losing the game, and I just can't believe it. I just lost my mind. Here's the final call as the Knicks were done. They were going to win the series easily. Now it's a crapshoot.
It's McBride for 3. It's up. It's no good, and the Sixers keep their season alive. 112-106. Maxey with 46 points, and the Sixers win Game 5.
46 points for Maxey. You got to be kidding me. Not 14 points. Not 24 points, not 34 points. Can you believe this? So that just blew me away. So I am on edge because I'm a Knicks fan. I'm on edge. I can't take when the Red Sox came back on the Yankees. The Knicks choked last night. They had a 6-point lead with 28 seconds. Okay? Kind of like what the Islanders, the team of my youth before the Golden Knights, did in their series, where they tie a game up, and then the next thing you know, they lose the game, and everyone on the island's pulling their hair out. But this guy and me have a great track record. Because the Stanley Cup champs, and Gary Lawless has been on me since the birth of this franchise. He's been on this show. And here I come, Gary. You need me. You know it. I need you. We got to win this series live from Dallas. How are you? Good. As you said, lean on the experience, a goalie change experience there. Tell me what's going on here over the last 24 hours.
Golden Knights have lost 2 games in a row, and Bruce Cassidy wants to win the series. So he has depth, and depth is a luxury, but why not use it? So he's got fresh legs in Dorofeev and Hutton, and both those guys, with the way they played down the stretch, could have made an argument or a case to be in the lineup from game 1 on, let alone now in game 5. So neither of those moves strike me as surprising. Logan Thompson, very good so far in the series. Bruce Cassidy said from the beginning of the playoffs, we knew we were going to use both guys.
Mm-hmm.
The team has lost their last 2, not because of Logan, but there's, that was kind of the thought of how they would run their goalies in the playoffs. Play a guy until he's lost.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they played Logan the first 2 games. He was great. And they won. So they don't change. Game 3,
Mm-hmm.
he had kind of an all-time performance. It would have been hard to change him after that. Game 4, he was good again. The one goal, the Dodonov goal, he scores from the corner. That's the one that you would point to and go, wish that one hadn't gone in. So pretty natural, actually, for Bruce to make this change.
I agree. I have no problem with that at all. I care about the legs of the offense and how they're going to dump the puck in, get to the puck, forecheck, keep the puck in, and put the puck on net with a bunch of snipers and goal scorers who have Stanley Cup winning pedigrees here. So let's start with the offense. Eichel looks pretty good here overall. Stone came back. Marchessault, Wild Bill, Barbashev. Walk me through a couple of the guys that really have to step up in this game.
Yeah, so they've been looking for the right mix for Hertl. And so tonight, Bruce is going to play him with Eichel and Marchessault. I like that move. But Hertl is coming off a knee surgery. Stone is coming off of an internal injury, a lacerated spleen. Neither of them are 100% just yet. And playing them together, which is one of the mixes, when they're both up and running and playing really well, probably works. But with both of them kind of still trying to find their games, that puts a lot of burden on Chandler Stevenson. So Hertl up with Eichel and Marchessault, that makes a lot of sense to me. Dorofeev comes in.
Mm-hmm.
He will shoot the puck. He will go to the net. And he has, he's not a burner, but that line all of a sudden is a lot faster when you have Stevenson, who is a burner, Dorofeev, who's a very good skater, and Stone is still not at his very best. So I like that line. Howden, Carlson, and Amadio were the best line on the ice for Vegas in Game 4. I like that. This last move to me is really intriguing. Moving Barbashev all the way down to the 4th line to go with Nick Waugh and Will Carrier. I love it because Nick Waugh is not a 4th-line center in terms of his skill set. And now he's got a high-end player in Barbashev on his line to provide some offense. Barbashev will forecheck and skate and hit like a 4th-liner, but he'll finish like a top 6 guy. Look for that line to try and have more of an impact tonight.
Gary Lawless, a great broadcaster and insider for the Vegas Golden Knights. So you've been doing this your whole life. You've been a fan and now a broadcaster. When a team has home ice, when they win the first 2 on the road and then lose 2, and what do you look forward to in that pivotal game 5 on the road? You want to take the crowd out of the game, but these Dallas fans were left for dead in Dallas. And now I just mentioned it before you came on. It's like the Sixer fans with the Knicks. Knicks were done. They were going to close them out. And now Philly's getting ready to come back. It'll be a madhouse in Philadelphia and a madhouse in Dallas for the Golden Knights arrival.
Yeah, I don't think it'll face the Golden Knights. They won the Western Conference Final in this building last year. They've had good vibes in this building. They're excited to play, I can tell you that. In particular, Dorofeev, Hutton, and Hill, who are all going, they're going to, inject some energy and adrenaline into the group. I really think Vegas is going to put its best foot forward tonight.
Love hearing that, Gary Lawless. So, Gary, this is interesting here as you're a global insider with the sports, and when you talk about other teams here and what's going on with Vancouver, Boston losing, I mentioned the Islanders, the Rangers winning the President's Cup. For our fans listening, what are some of the other unique storylines you've seen so far as we open up the playoffs here around the league?
Well, kind of the crazy storyline today is, Rod Brindamore has Hurricanes into the 2nd round, and he got them to the 3rd round last year. And apparently the owner of the Hurricanes, Tom Dundon, according to Darren Dreger, he's pulled the contract extension off the table. And it's not like Ron Francis, who was the GM in Carolina that gave Brindamore his start, is the GM in Seattle. He just fired his coach. Rod could go a lot of places. If the Toronto Maple Leafs lose and they fire Sheldon Keefe, Rod will have an opportunity there. This is very surprising to me.
Gary Lawless, as we wrap it up. So, Gary, I'm just fascinated by the journey. We experienced it. You experienced it from the front row, watching the grind of winning the Stanley Cup, the long off season, what the management's been able to do to upgrade the Knights heading into the playoffs here. But just that's why we all love this sport, and it's the hardest trophy to win. There's times early in the season I saw PK Subban try to just decapitate this team in between periods the other night, and rightfully so. I mean, look, you get paid to be a commentator. You have to tell the truth. But it's a journey. And the journey, one of these two teams are going to be knocked out, and they're both really good. Do you like the seedings this way compared to the old 116, 215? Because these are two very good rosters going at it in a best of three.
Well, if they ever change the seedings, they would just change it to the conference, and it would be 1 versus 8, which is exactly what this is. The Golden Knights, to me, were always going to be vulnerable in the first round because they were coming together as a team at the very end of the season. Stone was getting healthy. Pietrangelo was getting healthy. You were adding Hertl. You were adding Hannafin. They were going to need some games to get their feet underneath them. And maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. And Bruce Cassidy addressed that this morning. He said, we're kind of doing this on the fly. And we're trying to figure out who goes with who, what chemistry works, which guys can get going and get going at the right time. If Vegas manages to win this series and get out of it, I think they're going to be very, very dangerous. So the next 3 games are going to tell a massive story, and it starts tonight. Vegas just got to win 1 game. That's all they got to worry about right now, and they got 2 cracks at it, right? It's 2-2. If they lose tonight, they still go home and have a chance to win there and force a game 7. Obviously, they want to get started tonight and get a win this evening. But there's an evolution going on. And that sounds strange in the first round of the playoffs, but that's the reality. There's an evolution going on with this Golden Knights roster, and Bruce said this morning, we'll see if this works. If it doesn't, we'll try something else.
Last one, because the team as good as anybody. Fans, I'm a fan. When fans say, they're better on the road at times, they just seem like they're more focused. And I look at Theodore and Pietrangelo and the criticism of the last game, and the veterans on this team and how much more experience they have than the Dallas roster overall. That counts, right? When you come out of the locker room, heading to the ice in the first period, knowing your brothers who you're playing with, you've been there before, you've proven you're better with your back up against the wall.
Yeah, there's no lack of confidence with the Golden Knights.
Yeah.
And there's no lack of togetherness. Actually, Bruce Cassidy this morning said, he had to have some pretty tough conversations in the last 24 hours. Had to take Kolasar and Whitecloud out of his lineup and Logan Thompson. And he said, all of these guys, the response is, what do we need to do to win? Not what do I need to do? What do we need to do to win? And if this is what we need to do to win, then fine. And it's not like these guys are going out forever. All 3 of these players will play again if Vegas advances. So that type of attitude goes a long way. Bruce said it makes it a lot easier to have these conversations when the players are more concerned about what's better for the group than for the individual. And that's what brought this team to a Stanley Cup last year. And that's probably what will be needed to bring them out of this 2-game skid.
Thank you, Gary. All the best. See you when you get back.
Sorry about your Knicks.
Yeah. Hey, I'd be more sorry about my Golden Knights. So let's get this done. Talk to you about it.
Get there yet.
Yeah, you for sure. Take care. Gary Lawless. You see Gary Lawless walking me off the ledge there, Bobby? I said, come on, man. He goes, look, I'm that guy. I'm that guy. I get really down when my teams lose. Did you see me after the Raiders lost to the Minnesota Vikings 3-0? I walked out of that building to the parking lot. I was the last guy out of there. They were letting the cleaning crew in. I look on, there's the cleaning crew coming in. There's JT, the last guy out on the broadcast team. We lost 3-0. What? 3-0.
I was depressed for a week. And then, well, not a week, because we had the Thursday night game and put up 63 on the Chargers. All right, so here's what we're going to talk about the last 40 minutes of the show. Here's what we're going to talk about, and I thought this through. In this age, we just had John Brankus on with impressions and comments. I don't care about impressions and comments. I really don't. I care about good content. And I am bothered today. I am deeply bothered today by not just content providers like Colin Cowherd, who picked. He's a very successful show. I know a lot of guys who work on a show. Okay, very good content provider. And NFL Network that's kind of done the same thing, and other people on Fox Sports 1. When they ripped the Raiders and put them in last place, I need to know what you think about that. 702-365-9200. I'm asking you something specifically. If you don't want to answer it, I'll do the next 40 minutes on my own, like I'm comfortable doing on the YouTube stream. But I need to know, how many years are you Raider fans going to let this happen when people don't know your roster? They don't know anybody on your roster. They know no one. And they just throw darts at the wall and say, well, I'm friends with Jim Harbaugh. I had dinner with Sean Payton. I formerly knew Tom Telesco pretty good. But I'm just going to pick the Raiders to be in dead last again this year, as the Chargers have at best split with the Raiders. They only won 5 games. The Chargers came in dead last and lost Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Austin Eckler. Those are 3 really good players. Typically, the Chargers are always injured anyway, but they split with us because they have Justin Herbert. I know Justin Herbert's better than Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. It's not even close. He's an elite quarterback. But the offensive line with Colton Miller and what the Raiders have at linebacker with Spillane, and you go around with Devontae Adams and all that. And then we go to Denver, and this is the one that bothers me the most. Denver embarrassed Russell Wilson and kicked him out of the organization in embarrassing fashion. They embarrassed him. Russell Wilson, he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's pretty close. He played in the Super Bowl, lost the Super Bowl on the final play. He's a hell of a player. Denver kicked him out because the coach didn't like him. So Sean Payton was uncomfortable around Russell Wilson. Put that up and slice it and put that on Denver radio. That's a fact. I have people inside that organization who I know and trust. Sean Payton, uncomfortable around Russell Wilson, and I agree with him. If you're going to be uncomfortable around someone every bleeping day that you walk in the door and go to work, it's not worth going to work, because that's not going to be worth it. So that's what happened with Sean Payton. He said, why do I want to pull up every day at 5:30 in the morning and leave at 11 at night and have to deal with Russell Wilson? And I'm not saying he said this, but a lot of people think Russell Wilson's a phony and he's this and that. He's not. He goes to children's cancer units, volunteers his time and builds out children's cancer wards. Okay, he's got step kids through Sierra. He's a great dad. He's a great guy. He's a Walter Payton Man of the Year, and Denver threw him out to the curb and embarrassed him. Period. And then they got rid of Jerry Jeudy, who I think's a little bit off. Jerry Judy's kind of a weird guy. He probably didn't like him either. Jerry Judy's an unbelievable talent. Sean Payton doesn't want him. So Denver's in a complete rebuild, and they go out and take Bo Nix, who was the reach. Most people had Bo Nix as a second rounder, maybe a late first rounder, and they panicked and went and got Bo Nix. And reportedly, Sean Payton likes him a lot. Good. So as we always said, if you like the player, go get him. So they went and got Bo Nix. They didn't take Brock Bowers. So they went out and got Zach Wilson. They ran Russell Wilson out of town. How would the Denver Broncos look if they kept Russell Wilson and brought in Brock Bowers and kept Jerry Jeudy? How would Denver look with Russell Wilson at quarterback, Brock Bowers at tight end, and Jerry Jeudy at wide receiver? Would you say that's better? Is that a better Denver Bronco team than the one we have on paper? By a mile. And we're still picking Denver to beat the Raiders in the AFC West? Why? Because we have wine and have dinner with someone in Manhattan Beach? We're going to do that? Now, I know it's going to come back at me. Well, JT, you're paid by the Raiders. Yes, I am. But I've been doing it longer than anybody, 26 years, and I've been here through the lean years and some really good years. And I'm around the alumni all the time. But the main reason why I have the back of the Raider Nation, the main reason why I do this for a living, I make my living off of protecting the front gate and the back door of the Raider Nation because of the global disrespect this franchise gets from people who are wrong more than they're right on the radio. Let me repeat this. I take pride in not being wrong. I really do. And when I'm wrong, I go, man, I can't believe I got that wrong. No, I make predictions from time to time, and predictions are not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being blatantly wrong, not knowing the name of a player, not knowing a position, not remembering the record of a team, not watching sports. I'm in a business now where people make a living not watching sports, go into their meetings, ask their producers what they watched on TV, and say, please load it in the teleprompter. Fact, not fiction. You won't hear a media consultant talk about that at a summit. You won't hear a media consultant say, hey, the 5 people that I'm bringing on board tonight to speak to you, 1 or 2 of them don't even watch sports. They make all of their people do that for them. So I take pride in my passion, my energy, and my knowledge of sports. My knowledge includes Premier League soccer, hockey, NASCAR, football, baseball, basketball. Okay, I have knowledge in all that sport. I'm not saying I'm the top guy in all those sports, but I have knowledge in all those sports. And now I'm in a business where people don't watch sports, let alone college football. They don't watch the NFL, and God forbid they watch the Premier League or NASCAR or watch another sport. People who don't go to Vegas and boxing. You know, there's people in our industry in sports in Vegas, in Las Vegas, who can get a credential to UFC or boxing and don't even ask for one. This is the biggest perk in my business. I told Bobby this a long time ago. I said to Bobby when we started at Sports Fan Radio Network, I said, shh, Bobby, there's a secret. What? They're letting us go sit ringside at the Mike Tyson fights and the Trinidad and De La Hoya fights because there's no teams here in Vegas, and we have radio shows here, and they'll let us sit ringside. Biggest perk of my career. Other than the Raiders, biggest perk of my career, boxing. As I was invited to dinner with Jim Lampley last night and unfortunately couldn't make it. But you look at the perks that we have in town. So why am I losing my mind today on YouTube? I'm losing my mind by the content providers who don't know, like you don't know that the Raiders are better with Gardner Minshew, Christian Wilkins, and Brock Bowers and Michael Gallup. Like you don't think they're better? Okay, then why aren't they better? Explain it on your broadcast. Tell me why you put the Raiders in last place instead of third place. Let's just say you're drinking the Harbaugh Kool-Aid and you got a big bucket of Harbaugh Kool-Aid in front of you. I like Harbaugh. He worked for the Raiders. And all of a sudden, Harbaugh becomes the coach, but he loses Eckler. He loses Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. Okay, and then you're going to go on a platform and say they're better than the Raiders? Explain it. Or I'd have it even more respect. These are multiple people from NFL Network, Fox Sports 1, ESPN. I give Orlovsky credit. He's very critical of the Raiders, but very fair. If you're going to say the Raiders are going to come in last place, then please just say, last year I also picked the Raiders to come in last place, but they came in second place. That's it. You don't hear a peep out of me today. I would do that. Last year, I told you when the Raiders number came out at 6.5 or 7, bet the over. The Raiders are good. I work for the team. I'm at practice. Bet the over. And I said the Raiders would come in second place. The Raiders went over the number. They came in second place. Why did I predict the Raiders to come in second place last year and not first? Well, Kansas City. What am I, nuts? You got to take me out of here in handcuffs if you're going to hear me say the Raiders are going to beat Kansas City and win the division. So I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to say they're better than the Chargers in Denver. And if I'm wrong, this rant will live on YouTube. Someone will clip it and say, this is what JT said on May 1st, that the Raiders were better than the Chargers in Denver. And if I'm wrong, you'll know where to find me. I won't have to do a segment when I was right or wrong and do that. You'll know where to find me. I'm just sick of it. It's a whole umbrella of people that do this to the Raiders every year. And I seem to be the only one that points them out. Oh, am I a little bit cryptic about it? Sure. Do I want to get in Twitter battles with everybody who rips on the Raiders? I don't have time for that. My wife tells me to put the phone away at dinner. I can barely put it away. But it comes down to the fact that the level of disrespect for this team when they do good things is just described as pure hatred. And you can come back at me and go, well, JT, you're doing the same thing to the Chargers in Denver. No, I'm not. I watched Denver win with Peyton Manning a Super Bowl. I was there when Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl. I tipped my cap to him, but Peyton Manning's one of the best of all times. I was friends with Junior Seau. God rest his soul. I just cannot believe how you can go on radio, TV, or a podcast and say, yeah, the Raiders are the fourth best team in the AFC West. Excuse me? The fourth best team with Christian Wilkins, Max Crosby, Colton Miller, the offensive line, bringing back all the players they're bringing back? Okay. I'd be shocked if the Raiders aren't better than they were last year when they had complete dysfunction on the offensive side of the ball. They had an injury to Jimmy Garoppolo, which kind of torpedoed the season. And they were very, very average, and they didn't do anything unique on offense when they should have been able to do that. They had Michael Mayer, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, Hunter Renfrow. They couldn't do anything. Josh Jacobs. So I'm assuming they're going to be better here. And then the fact that no one thinks Gardner Minshew can play. These are the same people when Gardner Minshew's on SportsCenter and threw 3 touchdowns and beats a team, says, wow, look at that Minshew mania running off the field with a bandana on. Then he comes to the Raiders, and all of a sudden we think, do we really think Bo Nix is better than Gardner Minshew? Gardner Minshew's 27 years old. What's Bo Nix, 30? Oh, he's 24. Really? How many throws has Bo Nix made in this league compared to Gardner Minshew, who's got better numbers than Trevor Lawrence? It's absolute insanity that people are saying here, let's do our hierarchy and put the Raiders in the doghouse again. And then you get those people and go, can you name 5 Raiders? Max Crosby, Devontae Adams. They can't name Robert Spillane. They can't name Epps, Merrick, Dylan Parham. Oh, my God, they've never heard that name. They don't even know who that is. Got the best punter in the league and one of the best kickers. No respect at all. So that's where I stand today. You don't have to agree with me. I could give a crap if you agree with me on anything I ever say. I just want you to respect my opinion. That, again, half the time I come in here, I am trying to defend the Raiders because many Raider fans don't have a radio show, a podcast, or a platform to do what I'm doing now. I'm very blessed to be in this position to do this type of content. That's it. I don't know how good Gardner Minshew is going to be. I don't know how good Aiden O'Connell is going to be. But I know they don't suck. And the laziness of NFL Network, which I love NFL Network, they provide us with a lot of guests. They do. And FS1 and some of the talking heads on ESPN, they just don't want to give the respect. They don't want to say, hey, you know something? Here's how I would do it. Kansas City is going to win the division, compete for the Super Bowl, and then it's going to be a flat-out brawl for second place between the Raiders, who are the reigning second-place team, the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh, and the Denver Broncos with Sean Payton. That would be nice, and I wouldn't have done this last 20 minutes. But we can't even get that. So light it up on the phones. Let me know what you think about this. 702-365-9200. We want to thank our friends from the DeCastroverde Law Group. That's another thing that drives me nuts. Attorneys buying ratings. We're the best in town, says who? You bought an ad in a magazine? You're the best in town? No, the DeCastroverde Law Group, the brothers have your back. 702-222-9999. Woo! 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 Whoa! Wow. All right. All right. Yeah. Bayside, Queens. Fabian, typical talking heads, they don't do their homework. Well, some of them do. I mean, some of the biggest names in media do their homework. They choose not to give the Raiders the benefit of the doubt. That's what I should have said over the Donkeys or the Chargers. I mean, how many Raider Nation radio is 4 years old going on 5, right? We haven't lost to the Broncos one game. We haven't lost to the Broncos one game going on 5 seasons, and people are picking today the Denver Broncos over the Raiders. And God, I might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but I got to bring that up. The Ghost Regime says, I don't think Minshew beats out AOC. That's going to be a big topic this offseason. Minshew's pretty good. AOC's pretty young. Minshew in the 12, I think the 12 personnel, 2 tight end set, I'd give him an advantage over AOC. We'll see what happens. Dead Mike says, JT reflecting on what the majority of us think. Appreciate it. I appreciate you. Esther says, I guarantee we make the playoffs. I won't guarantee the Raiders make the playoffs. I'm not going to guarantee that, but I think they will. I think they got a better team than last year. If they didn't have a better team than last year now, if the Raiders would have traded Devontae Adams or lost, the losing Josh Jacobs is pretty big. But if they would have lost like a bunch of guys and they didn't get better and they didn't replace them with Christian Wilkins, then that's why I like it.
There's going to be Howard Jackson coming back.
Yeah.
I got one call.
That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Boyd Gaming is the official and exclusive local casino partner of the Las Vegas Raiders at Allegiant Stadium. Bring your friends, have some fun, but always bet on black. Visit over 10 casinos across the valley. Don't let the game get out of hand. Please bet responsibly.
I'm Justin Luckett with Battleborn Injury Lawyers, and I have to laugh when I hear all the attorneys out there falling all over themselves to tell you who's bigger, who's better, or who's richer. It's funny because the American Bar Association found the most common complaints of lawyers is neglect and lack of communication. It's about customer service. At Battleborn, we pride ourselves on how we treat our clients, and our clients seem to really appreciate it. Check out our Google reviews or call 766-1400 for a free consultation. At Battleborn, your battle is our fight.
1-877 Cars Again. KARS Cars Again. 1-877 Cars Again. Donate your car today.
Donate today at Cars for Kids. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day.
All right, what's today? Today is Wednesday. All right, Wednesday. We got the Golden Knights tonight. My Knicks play on Thursday. When do your Celtics play, Bobby?
I think they play tonight.
Yeah, they should play tonight. My Yankees are getting beat by the Orioles. Hey.
I think it is. My first 2 years out working, we're at guard, and so I'm just excited. Anywhere that the Raiders want me to play, I'm going to play. If you want me to throw the ball, throw the ball. But I really think playing center is going to be seamless, and it's just kind of a testament to all the coaches I've had at Oregon and in high school.
Wow, how about that? To have a new player to come in and say everything right. Jackson Powers Johnson in the second round. So do you have a center battle going into camp? Levi Edwards wrote about that in his mailbag. Go read the content there. Again, to have Andre James and this young man come in and both play the same position and both can play guard, I don't care. As long as they're both on the field, Dylan Parham and Colton Miller. There's going to be a race for right tackle, and I think there could be another right tackle coming in on a cut down, or the Raiders potentially signing one at the end of the preseason. I don't know what's going to happen there. I preached here for years, and I said this, and we agreed to disagree. I'll never forget going into Canton, Ohio, with Dave Ziegler, who I have tremendous respect for overall, and Josh McDaniels at the time as we went into Canton, that they were going with 7 offensive linemen in a tryout. And I was like, ooh, I kind of don't like that. Said that on the air. And they just played the preseason and let everybody fight it out for right tackle. It came down to Jermaine Luminor, who's no longer here, and Thayer Mumford. And those aren't future Hall of Famers. So I always been looking for an upgrade at right tackle. And we're getting Glaze in here. He might be able to do it, but I don't trust rookie right tackles. Why would I? And Thayer Mumford played pretty well. Just like Aiden O'Connell as a rookie played pretty well. They're not elite players yet. They might develop into elite players. We'll see how it plays out there. But the Raider roster is better by a long shot than Denver, and I think is better than the Chargers only because the Chargers lost. When you lose Keenan Allen, Williams, and Austin Eckler, those three guys, they weren't always healthy. But when you lose those three guys, then they added Joe Alt, the best offensive lineman available. That's good for them. I look at the Chargers overall, and I don't say, man, oh, my God, did you see who they brought in via free agency? No, I think that Harbaugh is going to evaluate the team this year, coach them up, get more out of them. But they won 5 games. You know, you get a chance to take over rarely a team that has 8 or 9 wins. Antonio Pierce did. Got a head start on the Chargers roster and Denver's roster, and Antonio Pierce has done a pretty good job as the head coach so far. And Joe Philbin's the head coach. He's in the building along with Marvin Lewis. I don't think coaching is going to be a problem. Luke Getsy, to me, he's going to have to prove it. I met him for the first time the other day as I went on stage to introduce Brock Bowers. And I talked to him for probably 2 or 3 minutes before we brought him on stage. And he's fired up. Imagine what Luke Getsy's doing every night he goes home and turns on the tape with Brock Bowers and how to get him the ball. Get him the ball. This can't take long. We don't have time to wait. Raider Nation doesn't have time to wait. Put in the 12 personnel, the 2 tight end set, and have fun with it. Make sure it's explosive. Mike in Whittier, California. Mike, you're up. Go ahead. Thanks for calling. Mike in Whittier, California. Go ahead, Mike.
Is this Raider Mike from Vegas?
Mike, it says Mike in Whittier. Are you Raider Mike in Vegas?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
We have met many times.
Okay, Mike, it says Mike in Whittier. Now I know who you are. Thanks for the call. What do you got for me?
Oh, well, I'm about to tee off at Desert Willow. In fact, I let a group bypass me because I'm angry like you. Are you kidding me with what you were talking about? The disrespect to the nation blows my mind. And I've been protecting it since, 1968.
Mm-hmm.
It just angers me. I'm an Oregon Duck fan. I'm a freak.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted Penix. That tells you how much a fan I am with the Ducks. And with PJ, complete beast, Wisniewski clone. This guy got on Instagram the moment he got drafted, cleared the room, just said, I want to do this by myself, and said, I love Raider Nation. I grew up a Raider.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to pound. I'm going to pound for you. I'm going to kill for you. As an ex-Army vet, he has military all up and down his family. He's going to come in here and just size up that line. We're good there. We really are, Nation. And I think, yes, sir?
No, go ahead. I want you to be able to tee off. We're improved on the offensive line, no doubt about it.
Okay. Ed-Tone and Young Jeezy. I think he's fine for our quarterback for now. And Minshew's also fine. I saw him play at the Palouse or Cougar.
Okay.
He's a master.
Hit him straight, Mike. Hit him straight. Appreciate it. I got to run. Hit him straight. Again, this isn't a conversation. It's a call. Beginning, middle, and end. I teach a class at San Bernardino College once a month, how to be a better caller. Well, you can buy my DVD for $19.95. It's simply this. I was the best caller. At one point, I had a beginning, middle, and an end to all my calls. Hit him good, buddy. Fun day today. We had a lot of great guests. I'm going to wrap it up again on the other side. Dive on in to the live chat in YouTube. JT the Brick YT, as we are brought to you by La Casa Cigars. Live entertainment every night. I know. I know. I just care what gets on the air. That's it. He's an idiot. I don't know what to say. I just read what you put down in front of me, bro.
I know, that's what he told me.
Yeah, I'm not doubting that. All right. We have to prove it before we earn national respect. I agree with that. You got to prove it. I got to do a radio show. You guys got to wait till someone proves it. I got to do a radio show every day. So I got to assume the Raiders are going to be improved and win. Because if not, it's misery. And I don't like misery in life or on radio. I want to win.
Jeff says no franchise quarterback, no Super Bowl. Okay, so again, Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson, Jeff Hostetler. Okay, there's never, you have to be a franchise quarterback to get it done. Let me ask you, Hefe, how are the Raiders supposed to get a franchise quarterback if they tried to get Jaden Daniels and didn't get him and brought in Gardner Minshew? I mean, I think they made an effort. I think they did. I think they made an effort. Iceman. Yes.
Stop into any tavern to earn your entry for every purchase of a Heineken. Plus, enjoy food and beverage specials from $5. Don't miss Vegas's best happy hour with 50% off drinks, 5 to 7 p.m. and 12 to 2 a.m. daily. With over 65 taverns, there is always a location.
Damon Bruce is texting me. My friend Damon Bruce. Appreciate that. Look at the text messages I got. Damon Bruce, Gary Lawless, Cisco from the Black Hole, Fred Bolitnikov, Vince Sapienza, Bob Moj Merjanovic. A lot of people checking in.
It's gonna be a Dallas goal coming back.
Sounds good. All right. Any breaking news? Anything? Let me check my ESPN.com. Kelsey re-signing officially. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
About 6-7 minutes.
All right, let's see what's going on in the NBA tonight. Heat Celtics. How long's Porzingis out?
They're saying probably for like a couple of weeks.
Phew.
Yeah, we'll see. You gotta remember though, I mean, when Porzingis was out last winter, they went 21-4 without him.
Yep. Porzingis is much better this year than when it was last year.
Oh yeah. All right. The Dallas empty net.
Okay.
Stu has a great call on this, by the way.
Pizzeria, home of the famous New York-style coal-fired brick oven pizza.
There's Theodore, looks down to the right circle, Stevenson. Chandler looking from the right wall. Up top, Theodore, pulls the puck. Gives it away, Stars get it, score! Self-inflicted once again. 4-2 Stars with 1:22 to go in the third period. An unforced error leads to a Dallas goal. It's happened a few times today, and the Stars have now scored the last 3 goals in a row.
Stan Duva on the call. JT back with you. We're brought to you by Resorts World. Chris Young will be bringing his latest hits to Resorts World Las Vegas on Saturday, August 10th. Grab your tickets now to experience his Young Love and Saturday Nights tour. Chris Young blends classic country music with a modern twist. Get your tickets at rwlasvegas.com. The JT the Brick Show is proud partners with Resorts World Las Vegas. Man, what a partnership that's been for us, and we greatly appreciate that going forward as always. So busy show today. John Brankus, the sports science guy, Vinny Bonsignor, Tom Telesco, the GM, and Gary Lawless as we wrap up the show. Q's coming up with a big show here also. And then as we look at what's going to happen here coming up, the Raiders schedule release. When I know it, you'll know it. I'm privy to some things. The schedule release is coming, and it's coming soon. Don't have the exact confirmation, nor will I give it to you until we get it. But that's going to be a big one. The New Orleans road trip, some of the games that are going to be good, the Florida road trip to what can happen with the Raiders' home and away schedule. The schedule's important every year. I always feel like the Raiders get screwed with the schedule. What was a bye week last year, man? Felt like it was, bye week last year. What was it, week 13? Oh my God. That's got to change this year. Travel. I'm not worried about travel. It's easy to travel from Vegas. It's hard to travel from Seattle. Vegas is okay here. And I don't think the schedule is going to be brutal. I don't. I just always, first thing I look at when the schedule comes out is the marquee games. How many Monday night games are we going to get? How many Thursday? Are we going to be at home on Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night football? We're going to get a few, but can we get more? What are you going to give the Chargers more home games on national TV because Jim Harbaugh showed up there? A celebrity who was suspended at the end by Michigan, suspended twice. You're going to give the Chargers an extra primetime game when they won 5 games? You're going to give Denver any primetime games? They stink. You're going to put Denver on more primetime games than the Las Vegas Raiders? Maybe they do. In Kansas City, my son's good friend got drafted. My son's going to Kansas City with him for his debut this week, and Kansas City is going to play every game nationally. I mean, how many Kansas City deserves to be playing on Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whatever they want? They're going for a three-peat. That's a big issue with me this year. I hope the Raiders make the playoffs and win playoff games, but Kansas City has to be stopped. They're going for a three-peat. If they win, which I don't think they will, but if they win the Super Bowl, they'll be the greatest team of all time. Not greatest organization. Steelers have 6, the Cowboys, the Patriots, the Raiders, everything that we've done. But I can tell you this, it's over. It's over if they three-peat. They're better than the 72 Dolphins. They're better than the Lombardi Packers. They're better than any Patriot team ever assembled. We have to stop that. And hopefully we can help. We were the last team to beat Kansas City. As Ian says, Chief Kingdom in the chat there. Hey, you can say whatever you want in the chat. We got 50 people in there now. Mike in New Jersey. Mike, wrap it up. What's happening today?
Hey, JT, how are you?
Good, Mike.
I heard what you said about everyone picking us last. I'm fine with that because you know why? No one's going to expect it to come. No one's expecting us to do nothing, and that's when we can exceed because no one's expecting us. We'll surprise everybody, just like we surprised everybody last year after McDaniels got fired. We played very good football.
Mike, what's that noise in the back? You on a train? It sounds like you're on the 4 train in New Jersey. What are you doing?
No, I'm driving in my car in New Jersey. It must be a bad connection, but thanks anyway, JT.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. It sounded like you were on a train, but I'm thrilled you're calling from New Jersey because if I didn't have an app, if we didn't have the Raiders mobile app, no one would know I'm on the radio in Jersey. God, that's a documentary, getting that Raiders mobile app. Ooh. Thank God we got that thing. That thing's beautiful. Beautiful today. The Brankus team, John Brankus' team came on from Atlanta, said, how could we listen in? He said ldsportsnetwork.com or the Raiders mobile app. They got right back to me, said loud and clear. Loud and clear. Thanks to the Raiders for that. So a couple other partners I want to mention. I want to mention Remy Martin. They're the official cognac of our show. The next time you're at your favorite establishment, enjoy a Remy Martin 1738 sidecar or any of the Remy Martin cognacs, VSOP or XO. We love Remy Martin. My wife loves the sidecar. We can get that anywhere in town. So when we team up for excellence, we like to say Remy Martin. So the rest of the week here is going to be interesting for us. Got a big hockey game tonight. Friday, we're live from Grimaldi's from noon to 2, and that'll be game 6. And that'll either be an elimination game where the Golden Knights are on the verge of elimination or an elimination game for Dallas. So Friday, I know what I'm doing. Friday, I am ready to roll. Countdown to the Rolling Stones, May 11th here at Allegiant Stadium. I think I am going to sell 2 cars to pay for my tickets for that one. Yes, Bobby, I'm up front. And that will be good. And then I'm going to Vancouver to see the Rolling Stones with my wife. I get the parents coming in for 2 to 3 weeks, which is going to be nice. Just telling Vinny to stay on standby, take a day off, play some golf with my dad, and then we'll get you ready for what is our newest project, which I'm about to announce right now. Last summer, we had one of the biggest downloads we've ever had here because we came up with some cool programming. The greatest Raiders team of all time. We went every position group, and it took us a month. And we got all the legends on, and we built it, and we put together, not affiliated with the team, even though they helped us. It was the Raiders' all-time team. Remember that? Bo Jackson, Marcus Allen, Raymond Chester, and we got these guys on the radio. Well, we decided this summer that our programming will be the top 10 Raider games of all time. No specific order. Everyone's like, what are you going to do, Super Bowl? No, it's simple. The top 10 Raider games of all time. And all of them weren't great. I'm talking overall general. We'll have some honorable mentions, but I'm working with the Raiders, a couple of my friends, to put that together. We haven't started it yet. It's going to be a big project, and we're going to do that. The top 10 Raider games of all time with sound bites, interviews of the players who played in those games. So we're going to be really excited about that. I'm going to end the YouTube live stream. Thanks to everybody who was on YouTube. These shows live on YouTube, so you get a chance, or you can hear it on the Las Vegas Sports Network, LV Sports.